Okay, guys, we're back for part two of how to lift a 164 scale truck. I guess I can take my mask off now, and we will talk about our off-road wheel and tire donor, which again is this Greenlight 67 Bronco. Now these wheels are kind of tricky to get off. On this particular one, you cannot use your wire cutters to pry these wheels off, because when you do, it damages it. Or you can, and that's what I had to do. Just keep in mind, the suspension on this Bronco is going to get destroyed. And here's the Bronco that I actually used for a wheel donor for this truck. And you can see that the suspension has been all mangled. And that, unfortunately, because it's plastic, the only way to get those wheels off is to damage this casting. So, I don't know. I literally have piles of these sitting around that I've stripped the wheels off of. I get a pretty good price on these. So, keep in mind, this does have a good hitch that you can use for another truck. We can even put it on this one if we wanted to. When you pull those wheels off, sometimes only one of the wheels will come off the axle. This wheel, without damaging it, will not just pull off. See, we can hold this with our pliers and try to twist that wheel off, and it's just not going to come. May come eventually. A little trick that I've learned is if you take the wheel that will not come off the axle, and you hold the axle and the wheel on a pair of pliers, and you take a cigarette lighter and you hold it onto the axle for say 5 or 10 seconds and heat it up enough, that wheel will come right off. So that's a trick I use a lot to keep from damaging the wheel. I have already pulled a set of these wheels off of that Bronco. Wheels and tires off of that Bronco that we're going to use for this C10. So we'll just take one. We'll put our brass rod into it. It goes right in. Take our pliers to hold that brass rod in and push that wheel on pretty good. And then we're just going to take it, measure it up here on the truck, get the right width, mark it, and then cut it. Maybe even cut it just a tad longer than where our mark is. And then we're going to take one of our axle housings, slide over the top of the axle, put the other wheel on. Here's our new axle. And then we're just going to take some super glue, apply it to the base of the truck. Oop. There we go. And then we just kind of center that axle housing on the axle. And put it down. Pull it out of the vise so I can look to make sure that I have it centered correctly in the wheel well on both sides, and we do. And flip this around. Do the front. Oh, I just realized I've dropped both my wheels, so I've got to one. And here's the other one. All right. Brass rod in. axle housing. Marker to mark the length of the axle. Cut it. Second wheel. A little bit of glue. I'm going to pull it off the vise. Make sure that I have those two axles aligned correctly. And I do. I'm just going to set it back in the vise just for, I don't know, about 10 or 15 seconds and let it dry. That should do it. Oh, and by the way, guys, inside this vise, which I'm not sure what this vise is called, maybe an engineer's vise or something, I don't know. I put these yardsticks, cut pieces of yardsticks wrapped in duct tape inside the jaws just so it doesn't mar the trucks. Those are simple to make. There we go. Looks good. Take the camera off the mount. And there you go, guys. There is a lifted Greenlight 1968. Used to be C10, now it is a K10. Fairly simple if you have the right tools and materials. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments or ask me over on Instagram. Thanks for watching.